Welcome to Cryptocurrency for Beginners. In this series, we're going to make sure that you master 4 things. First, how to set up a secure account with Coinbase. Then you will learn how to purchase your first cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. From there, you will learn how to transfer your cryptocurrency to other exchanges where you can then buy additional cryptocurrency or altcoins. And finally, you will learn how to secure your cryptocurrency or digital assets in a software wallet. So let's get started. So our very first step to buying any kind of cryptocurrency is to visit Coinbase.com. And seeing this is the first time in this series that we're visiting a website, this is also an excellent time to point out one of the most important things you can do to keep your cryptocurrency safe. And that's to make completely sure the website that you are visiting is the one that you intend to visit. Scammers and hackers will often create very similar websites with just 1 or 2 letters of difference to confuse you, so they can capture your login information. Now that we're absolutely sure we're at Coinbase.com, we can simply click the Get Started button here in the top right. And once I do, we're presented with a standard sign-up form, which is going to ask us for our name, email, location, and this is also where you'll set up a password. Then I'll simply click Continue. Okay, so you can see Coinbase has sent us an email that we need to then open up and verify. Here we go. And now all I need to do is click Verify Email. After that, I'm then redirected back to Coinbase, where they are asking me to enter in my phone number. This is to add an extra level of security to your account. So for example, if you, or anybody else for that matter, wanted to withdraw a large amount from your Coinbase account, you would first receive a security text message to confirm that it is you trying to withdraw that amount. After you enter in your phone number, you can click Send Code. And once I receive that code, I can simply enter it in here on the next screen, and then I'll click Submit. At this point, you'll be presented with another form asking for a bit more information to finish up the approval process here at Coinbase. So just take a moment to fill out all this standard information, and then we will click Continue. Next, we're going to submit a photo of our driver's license or other form of valid ID. Sometimes this photo identification step worries people a little bit, but this is for the security and safety of your account. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to just call Coinbase directly. They're actually quite helpful. So I'll just choose driver's license in this case. And now you can choose the method in which you want to submit this photo. Our first option is webcam. If your computer has an enabled webcam, you can simply just hold up your license and take a picture. This is pretty quick and easy, but make sure you have the right lighting and a very clear image of your license. Your image can get rejected if it's a little bit too blurry or there's reflections obstructing your face or any of the data on your license. For our next method, you can choose to use your mobile device. If you choose this option, you'll receive a text message at the number that you already previously provided Coinbase. The message will contain a link that you can click on, and then you'll be able to either take a picture with your mobile device or upload an image that is already stored on your mobile device. And our last option will allow you to upload an image directly from your computer's hard drive, which is pretty straightforward. And that's it. Now we are logged into our Coinbase account. And in the next video, we're going to be looking at the different payment methods that we can set up here inside Coinbase. So I'll see you there.
If we scroll down here on our main dashboard, you can see that we have this option to add a payment method. And when I click on that, you can see we have a few different options. First is your standard bank account. This method lets you purchase cryptocurrency here on Coinbase immediately, which locks in the price that you purchased it at. But something to consider is that you won't have access to that cryptocurrency for about 4 to 5 days. This method is good for people that are investing long-term in cryptocurrency and don't need access to those crypto funds immediately. The next option is to add a credit or a debit card. This option lets you purchase cryptocurrency here on Coinbase immediately, and you will have access to it right away, which means you can sell it or transfer it to another exchange, or even to a wallet for safekeeping, which we'll talk about later. One thing to consider here is that some credit card companies aren't supported, but all debit cards should work perfectly fine here. Next, we have the USD account. This lets you store USD funds here on Coinbase, which means you can instantly buy cryptocurrency with those funds. Also, if you were to sell cryptocurrency here on Coinbase, like your Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can either transfer those funds back to your bank account or into your Coinbase USD account, which makes it much faster to buy additional cryptocurrency. Our final method is wire transfer, and this is when you're transferring funds from your bank account here into Coinbase. This option is best when you're transferring large funds in one go. Okay, so I'll get started with credit and debit card, and then we just need to fill out our standard card information and hit submit. After we hit submit here, we're presented with a window that allows us to link or verify the card that we just submitted. What you will need to do at this stage is log into your credit card or debit card account and look for 2 deposits that Coinbase put into your account. For me, this happens pretty instantly, but depending on your bank or the type of card that you're using, this may take a few hours or a day or two. So I just had a quick look at my debit card account, and the 2 deposits that were made from Coinbase were $1.52 and $1.66. Now I can click Verify Card. Now that I've set up the debit card, next let's add a bank account. And we can do this by simply clicking the blue button that says Add Account, and then click Bank Account this time. In my case, I'll select Wells Fargo, and when I do, I'm prompted to enter in my Wells Fargo username and password for my online banking account. If you don't have an online banking account with your bank, you might want to set that up now, so you can simply just type in your username and password, and then the setup process is pretty simple here on the Coinbase end of things. Once I've logged in correctly, I can choose to verify either by receiving a phone call or a text message, where I'll be receiving a code that I can enter in on the next screen. I'll choose to verify by text, and of course this works pretty seamlessly because Wells Fargo already has my correct contact phone number on file. So I'll just take a quick peek at my phone, and I can see that text message, and I'll just type in that code here. So on this screen, I'll choose which account I want to use. I only have one Wells Fargo account, so that's all we see. But if you have additional linked accounts, they'll show up here. I'll just click Continue, and there we go. We now have a debit card and a bank account connected to our Coinbase account. Now let's take a moment to add another layer of security to our account. At the moment, you or someone with your username and password can log into your Coinbase account. So to make it one step harder for anyone to gain access to your account, we're going to set up something called two-factor authentication, which means in addition to logging in the normal way you do, we will also enter in a special code generated by an app on our phone. It's actually easy to set up, so let's get started. So I'll navigate to Settings, and then to the option that says Security. And once I'm on the security page, you'll see this option to enable authentication. I'll go ahead and click that. And because I set up my phone number in the beginning of this process, I'll again receive a text message with a code that I need to enter in here. So I'll type that in and hit Enter. And then you can see I'm presented with a screen which displays a QR code. So what we need to do now is download an authentication app onto our phone. There are a few apps like this, but the one I recommend is Google Authenticator. You can download this for Android or iPhone by visiting the Google Play Store for Android users or the App Store for iPhone users. Once you have the Google Authenticator app installed and launched, all we need to do is click this plus icon, which will let us take a picture of the QR code we see here on our screen. And that was pretty simple. So you can see now that we've added Coinbase. We now have an authentication number we can enter to finalize the authentication process. Okay, great. Now we have that all set up. But at this point, before we purchase any cryptocurrency, let's remember another important security reminder. As you get more into cryptocurrency investments, you'll likely set up several different accounts, logins, and even different wallets. When setting up a new account, it's always recommended that you test your ability to log into that account. The last thing that you want is to set something up, transfer a bunch of assets to that account, and then not have the ability to log back in. So I'll just quickly log out and log back in, also giving us an opportunity to test our two-factor authentication. So we have our payment methods set up, our two-factor security is working, and now we're ready to purchase our first cryptocurrency. Now that we have our account set up and secure, let's go ahead and purchase some cryptocurrency here on Coinbase. So here on the main dashboard, we can click to see the different prices and price histories for each of the cryptocurrencies selling here on Coinbase. All right, so now that we're an instant expert at all this data, let's jump right in and buy some crypto. And we can do this by simply clicking the Buy Sell button here at the top. And the first thing we really need to pay attention to is which cryptocurrency we have selected. As you can see, we can switch between each one, and you don't want to purchase the wrong cryptocurrency. Sometimes people make a selection and then they accidentally refresh their web page, and this will actually reset the selection of the cryptocurrency that you want to buy. So again, double check that you're buying the right cryptocurrency. So for no particular reason, I'll get started with Ethereum, let's say. And then I'll choose what I want my payment method to be. In this case, I'll choose debit card. And again, just to remind you, that's a good method to use if you want to have access to your cryptocurrency immediately. Then I'll choose what amount of Ethereum I want to buy with fiat, which then shows you how much Ethereum you'll actually receive for the amount that you're paying. Under that, we have an option to set up recurring purchases if you like. So let's say you want to have kind of an auto investment into crypto. You can set that up here. But in this case, I'm just doing a one-time purchase, so I'll make sure I do not have that selected. Now I can confirm that all the details are correct here on the right. And if everything looks good, all I have to do is click Buy Ethereum. And I'll click Confirm, and there you go. And if we visit our dashboard, you can see we now have Ethereum in our account. I also purchased a little bit of Bitcoin off camera, so I could show you what your portfolio breakdown would look like with more than one cryptocurrency. Okay, now that we have lots and lots of cryptocurrency, let's have a look at how we can sell our cryptocurrency and transfer it back to fiat and into our bank account. To do this, again, we'll click Buy Sell, and then we'll click the Sell tab here at the top. And you can see all the different currency amounts we have here. So I'll just select Bitcoin. Then you can choose where you want the funds of your sale to go, either back into your bank account, or you can keep it here on Coinbase, which then lets you instantly buy more cryptocurrency. In this case, I'll just choose my bank account. You have the option here to choose how much you want to sell. So in this case, I'll say $20 worth of my Bitcoin fortune. And just like you saw me do when I was purchasing Ethereum earlier, I can check that all the details are correct, then click Sell and Confirm. So if we have a quick look at our dashboard again, you can see our recent activity and that Bitcoin did indeed sell and that the funds are now on their way to my bank account. So in the next section, we'll review how to transfer cryptocurrency here from Coinbase to another exchange. That way you can buy additional cryptocurrencies or altcoins that are not available here at Coinbase. Now there are many different exchanges you can purchase different cryptocurrency or altcoins on. So if there's a particular currency or altcoin you're interested in, you just simply have to look up what exchange is offering that cryptocurrency. So to get familiar with the process, we are going to sign up for another exchange called Binance. Then we'll transfer some of our crypto from Coinbase so we can purchase additional cryptocurrencies that are available on Binance. Once we're at Binance.com, we'll click Register here at the top. I'll just enter in the email I want to use, create a password, select the terms of service, and then we're done. Now you will receive an email that will let you finalize the registration process. Over in my email, you can see I simply need to click Verify Email. And once I do, I'm then redirected back to Binance. Let's log in just as we did before. Seeing this is our first time logging in after registering, we are presented with some helpful security reminders from Binance. Again, good practice stuff like never disclose any important information and the often mentioned check your browser for the correct URL. I'll just check all of these and click Continue. Now we'll be prompted to set up two-factor authentication for Binance. Again, I'll be using Google Authenticator, so I'll just click Authenticator. At this point, if you don't have Authenticator installed on your device, you can download it for iOS or Android. But because we already did that, we can simply just launch Authenticator, just like we did for Coinbase. When I click Next Step, we are presented with another QR code that we can use to link Binance with our Authenticator app. All I need to do is click the plus icon here in the Authenticator app, and now I can scan this QR code. I'd like to point out here that it's important that you write down this code. That way you can recover your Authenticator app in the event that you lose or reformat your phone. Okay, now that I have that written down in a very secret place, I can now click Next. And our final step here is to type the password I used to log into Binance and the two-factor authentication code that I see here in the app. Great, now we're logged in and all set up. Now we're going to transfer some of our cryptocurrency from Coinbase over to Binance. That way we have funds here on Binance to purchase altcoins with. For this, we'll navigate up to where it says Funds, and then down to Balances, and that will navigate us to the Deposits and Withdrawal page. Here you can see all the different cryptocurrencies or altcoins that are available for purchase here on Binance. And if you wanted to search for a specific coin, like in this case Bitcoin, we can just use the search box here. So I'll type in BTC, which then brings up Bitcoin. And now if we look all the way to the right of this first row, you see that you have an option to deposit Bitcoin or withdraw or transfer Bitcoin out of Binance. In this case, we're going to be transferring Bitcoin from Coinbase over to Binance. So I'll simply click Deposit, which will then take me to a deposit screen showing me the deposit address I need to use. So I'll simply click Copy, and then I'll navigate back to Coinbase, which I've already logged into. I'll navigate to Accounts, then I can click here for Bitcoin. And on the screen that pops up, we can enter the deposit address that we copied from Binance. I'll just paste that in. But after I do, I'll take a moment to double check that I have the address correct. I also highly recommend that you double check that you are in fact sending and receiving Bitcoin to a Bitcoin address. You cannot send the wrong cryptocurrency to the wrong address. If you do, you'll lose all your coins. Everything looks good. So I'll choose the amount I want to send, and in this case I'll just send all the Bitcoin I have on Coinbase. At this point you can leave a note for this transaction if you like, then click Continue. This is going to navigate me over to the confirmation screen where I again can check my details and make sure they're correct. And at this point I'll again be asked for the Google Authentication code. I'll hit Confirm, and we're all done. And if we do a quick refresh of our account page, you can see that we have that pending transaction here in our history. And a nice feature is that we can click on the transaction, which will give us additional information, like the address we sent it to, the date, time, and the amount. Now, depending on how crazy or busy things are in the crypto space, or how busy things are at Coinbase or Binance, transfers can take a few minutes, or maybe even up to an hour. So just be patient at this point. Now that we have some Bitcoin funds here in our Binance account, let's navigate to the top of the page, to Exchange, and then down to Basic. So if this is your first time visiting any kind of exchange, an interface like this can be a bit confusing and of course a bit intimidating. And on the other hand, if you're already familiar with exchanges, then you'll feel at home here, and you don't need me to explain every single detail of this interface. So in this video, we'll just take a quick look at how to buy and sell here on Binance. So the first thing I'd like to point out is over here at the top right, where you can choose between the different trading pairs here on Binance. And all this means is you're choosing which cryptocurrency you want to buy with. As you can see, I can switch between Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, which is Binance's own coin, and USDT. I'll be using the Bitcoin that we transferred here to Binance, so I'll be sure to select the BTC box that I see here. As you can see, there are many different altcoins that we can purchase with our Bitcoin. And you may be new to most of these coins and not even know what these abbreviations stand for. So this is a good time to remind you to do your research. Learn about these companies so you know exactly what you're investing in. And I'd also like to remind you that everything I do in these videos is purely to teach you how to navigate around these interfaces. So not to take any coins I purchase as investment recommendation of any kind. I don't want to influence your investments in any way, so always know any coins I decide to purchase or sell is purely an example for the purposes of these videos. So with that said, let's take a moment to buy some altcoins. I'll get started with ADA, which stands for Cardano. This list is alphabetical, so you should see ADA here at the top, but if you don't see what you're looking for, you can of course use this search box. I'll go ahead and click on ADA, and once I do, I'll scroll down to the buy box, where I'm just going to double check and make sure it does in fact say ADA. You can see that a market price has been suggested and already added here. Of course, you can change this to anything that you want, but for now, just to move things along, we'll just keep it at the suggested price. So with the purchase price set, you can manually type in how much Cardano you want to buy, or you can choose to buy Cardano by using either 25, 50, 75 or 100% of your current Bitcoin funds. So selecting 25% will of course only use 25% of all the Bitcoin that I have available to me here on Binance. And if I chose 100%, then I would use all the Bitcoin that I have here on Binance to make my Cardano purchase. For this demonstration, I want to use all of my Bitcoin to buy Cardano, so I'll select 100%. And when I do, you can see that will buy me about 190 ADA. Due to the current prices of Bitcoin and ADA. And we can see here at the bottom that I will be spending a total of 0.0072922 Bitcoin to purchase my 190 ADA. Okay, so if all of that looks good, all that's left to do here is click Buy ADA. And that was a pretty quick dialog box that popped up that said Success, so you can miss that at times. But if you navigate up to Orders here at the top of the page, and then down to Open Orders, you can see all the orders that you have pending. If an order is still being filled, which can take a while, you'll see it here. But if it's already been filled, then you won't see it on this page, and you'll just have to check your funds page that I showed you earlier. Now, depending on which cryptocurrency you are purchasing, this can be filled immediately, or it can take several minutes for your order to fill. This really depends on how the markets are and the demand for a specific cryptocurrency. And if you see that an order never gets completely filled, that's usually because the price of that specific cryptocurrency has shifted too much in the meantime, and it's likely your order will never completely be filled. At that point, you could simply cancel your order and try again with a more competitive price. Adding a more competitive price during the buy process will increase the likelihood that your order is filled quickly and completely. But I know a lot of trades are being done on ADA, so I'll just be patient and wait for this specific order to fill. So you should periodically refresh this page, which I'll do now. And once I do, you can see that the ADA order is no longer on this page, which means it's been completely filled. And just to check that, I again will go up to Funds and down to Balances. And then you can see I do in fact have that Cardano I purchased, minus of course any transaction fees. Now that we've mastered the process of buying ADA, let's now take a moment to see how easy it is to then sell that ADA if we wanted to. Again, we'll need to click on Exchange here at the top, and then down to Basic. So as I showed you earlier, you can purchase ADA with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the other trading pairs ADA is available on, which means we of course can then sell ADA for those different currencies. But for now, I'll just stick with selling ADA back to Bitcoin. So just like I did before, I'll make sure I check Bitcoin. And then again, I'll click on ADA. We'll be following the same steps as we did for buying ADA, except this time we'll make sure we click on the Sell tab. And just like when we were buying ADA, you can see that a suggested market price has already been added, which of course we can change to anything we want. You can manually type in how much Cardano you want to sell, or again you can choose to sell your Cardano in percentages. I want to sell all my Cardano, so I'll click 100% so it fills it in for me. And you can see I'll be receiving this many Bitcoin from my Cardano. I'll click Sell, and just like before we get a quick confirmation pop-up, but we can again check our Open Orders page. And just like we saw with creating a buy order, sell orders can also fill right away or take a little while. And just like I explained before, if your order is never filled, you can of course cancel it and then try again with a more competitive price. I'll just do a quick refresh of the page and we can see the order has been filled. So with another quick glance at my balances, you can see I again have Bitcoin here on Binance.
All right, now that you have learned how to purchase and transfer different cryptocurrencies between exchanges, let's take the very important step of learning how to secure our digital assets in a software wallet. There are lots of different wallets available where you can store your digital assets. There are software wallets, hardware wallets, and even things called paper wallets. We will cover each of these wallet types in detail in later courses, but for now we'll get started with a software wallet called JAXX. You can download the JAXX Wallet on your Mac or PC, iPhone or Android device, and to do this we'll simply visit jaxx.io. And again, we're going to make very sure that we're actually typing in the domain we intend to visit, which in this case is JAXX.io. Once you are on jaxx.io, simply navigate to their download link. You'll then be asked to choose your operating system, and then you can click download. After downloading, simply install the JAXX Wallet the same way you do any other software on your computer. And once you have that installed, at this point you can simply launch JAXX. When you first launch JAXX, you'll be presented with two choices. You can create a brand new JAXX wallet, or you can restore a JAXX wallet that you previously created. So obviously in this case we will create a new wallet. You can take a moment to review the terms of service, and we'll click Continue. And that's it. Now we have a new JAXX wallet that we can store many different cryptocurrencies in. Now before sending any assets to your wallet, you want to make sure that you can recover your wallet in the event that you lose your device that you have your wallet stored on. So if you were to lose your computer or your cell phone, you'd want to be able to restore your wallet onto a new device. So if I want to recover the wallet I just created in the future, I'll need the backup phrase for this wallet. So we'll go ahead and create that now. So just click on the menu icon here in the top right, and then Backup Wallet. Next, we're presented with a dialog asking us if we understand how the backup phrase works. So I'll click Yes, and Start Backup. Okay, so here's the exceptionally important part. JAXX is now presenting us with our backup phrase, 4 words at a time. We will be presented with a total of 12 words at the end of this process. We need to write down each one of these words in the correct order. We can then use these 12 words to recover our wallet in the future on any device. But before you write down a single one of these words, I want to burn 2 points into your mind. 1, anyone who has access to these words has complete and total access to your JAXX wallet. This means having the ability to, of course, transfer funds in and out of your JAXX wallet. And 2, never store your backup phrase on a computer or phone, or any digital device for that matter that can be hacked or accessed. Write these down on a piece of paper and find an extremely safe place to store that document. Alright, now that I've written down all 12 backup words, you will need to enter them back in to confirm that you have written down the words correctly and in the right order. So I'll do that now, and then hit confirm. Okay, great. So we are all set up. We have JAXX up and running, and now we know how to recover our wallet in the event that we lose it. Okay, now that we have our JAXX wallet ready to go, let's transfer some assets from Coinbase into our JAXX Wallet. And a quick tip, whenever you set up a new wallet or a new account on an exchange, don't just transfer your entire fortune in one go. It's always a good idea to do a small test transaction to make sure you're doing everything correctly first. When you first launch JAXX, you'll notice that there are several different wallets installed by default here in the top left. Each asset gets its own wallet, so Bitcoin has a wallet, Ether has a wallet, and so on. To add and remove wallets to this list, all you have to do is click the Customize Wallets button right below the list. Or in the menu button over in the top right, we can click Manage Wallets. Okay, and from here we can drag and drop our wallets to order them however we like. And the switch over on the right-hand side here lets us turn off and on wallets. Turning off a wallet doesn't delete it or remove the assets from that wallet. It just removes it from the list I mentioned a moment ago. So for now, I'll just leave on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then now back on my dashboard, of course, we only see those two assets. Okay, so let's transfer some Ethereum from Coinbase into the Ethereum wallet located here in JAXX. So I'll first click on the Ether wallet option here in the top left. And once I'm inside that wallet, we can see the balance, which of course is set to 0 at the moment. So to receive Ether, of course, I'll click the Receive button. And once I do, I'm presented with my wallet Ether address. And again, remember, every wallet has a different address. So don't forget that this is an Ether wallet address and not an address for, let's say, a Bitcoin wallet. So with that in mind, I'm simply going to copy this Receive address by clicking this Copy button here. And once that's copied, I'll head back over to my Coinbase account, which I have already logged into. And on my accounts page, I'm going to click the Send button, again making sure this is specifically for Ether. After clicking Send, you can then paste your copied address here in the recipient box. And once you do, always take a moment to flip back and forth between JAXX and here on Coinbase, for example, just to double check that that address is exactly correct. Once you're 100% sure the address is in fact correct, you can then choose how much Ether you would like to send. In this case, I'll just click the Max button and send my entire Ether fortune over to the Ether wallet inside JAXX. You can write a quick note about this transaction if you want, and then click Continue. And before that transfer will go through, we of course are asked for our two-factor authentication, which we set up in an earlier video. Once I've entered that in, I can click Confirm. And from here, we can view the details of this transaction. So we see at the moment that this transfer is still pending. Don't panic if you see this. Transfers don't happen instantly. Depending on which asset you're working with, transfer times can change a bit. This is again why it's a good idea to do a small test transfer when working with a new wallet or exchange. All right, so back to JAXX. We can again click on our Ether wallet here in the top left, which we still see is set to 0. But over on the top right, when we're inside our Ether wallet, we see a refresh icon, which I'll click. And there we go. Now we see the Ether we transferred from Coinbase into our JAXX Ether wallet.
Fantastic. You have completed cryptocurrency for beginners. And you should now have an excellent understanding of how to set up an account with Coinbase and Binance so you can safely purchase a variety of different cryptocurrencies. How to secure your accounts with two-factor authentication. How to safely transfer cryptocurrencies between accounts. And finally, you learned how to secure your cryptocurrencies or digital assets in a software wallet.